On our way to meet Greg Wittstock, first ever pond tour. It's gonna be sweet. How we doing, Greg? Good to see you guys.
We get to see some beautiful ponds today.
Absolutely, it's an awesome water feature.
Good to see you, bro.
Great to see you. Business partner Tim.
Hey, Tim.
How you doing, Derek? Nice to see you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Great,
How you doing? It's great to see you. Great to see you.
Hello.
Yeah. We are in Cobourg, Ontario right now, yeah. Beautiful Cobourg, Ontario. Tim and I started in this area. This is where we kind of...
Well, you went with Burns Water Garden.
That's right. So did you know them?
I know Rowena.
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
One time.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
How
yeah.
long were you guys working there?
So I worked there before Tim even, and it was my high school job. So I worked there in the summers during high school, and then even when I went to university, I came back from home, I'd work there in the summers. So yeah, it was a nice place to work. That's where we got our feet wet in the pond industry. Yeah, pun intended. Right. Yeah, this is a really beautiful property. We're gonna go around this way to the back. So this is Jen. Hey, Jen.
I love it. You're working in the garden.
Yeah. Jen, this is Greg, the pond guy.
Nice to meet you.
Ernest and Derek.
Jennifer, very beautiful. I love the purple cone flowers and the black-eyed Susans, and so you're very organic. It looks like a very natural water garden. Huh?
Yeah, it is.
That was just one fall that dropped. So it was a pretty, I would call it a traditional style kind of water feature, Greg, where there was just kind of rocks around the edges, but all the liner was still showing in the stream and stuff like that. So we came in and built it the aquascape way, more or less.
Yeah. So that was there.
I didn't even see that when I came up. Oh, and I love how that's right. You got your window.
Exactly.
So you have that sound.
We did it, it's actually a mini intake, to be honest with you. So it is still blocked, but this area here is supposed to be where the debris collect. That's actually a pump vault, not a skimmer box. So it's a mini intake. Water comes over the corner of that log and back around. Just has so much more interest, this waterfall, than it used to, as you can see by the pictures of the previous water feature. Jen, the place looks amazing. Oh. Yeah, it does, yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, see the peony there? If you come in the spring and seen that in blue, it has blooms.
Right here?
That
Okay.
shrub right there.
Yeah.
Oh, huge pink blooms, but hey, you missed it.
Yeah.
Tiny, you're tiny.
Japanese maple back there too.
Now I'm coming and the hostas are blooming.
Hello, puppy.
Purple cone flowers.
Yeah, it looks great. Yes, thanks very much, Jen.
You are welcome.
Really appreciate it.
It was fun.
It was. Thanks so much. Stop number 2. Yes.
I love the color.
Drink your coffee. Right?
Very nice.
Nice.
So Denise, thank you for letting us come out here. Are you happy with this guy?
Oh, extremely.
All
Yeah.
right.
Extremely, and this guy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I asked her how long she lived on the property, and she said since 1994, and there were no trees.
It's insane. I wouldn't even believe that. No trees.
All right. So this never gets old for me. I already see the 2 chairs that are drawing me in.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've seen my vlogs, but the only thing I say is I love my job, but the only thing I don't love about my job is leaving. And I could already see that many hours would be spent sitting in those chairs.
Absolutely, and
looking,
they are.
Picking.
Yes.
This was the existing pond. So this was the one that Denise and Craig had started to build themselves. This one in here. And so if you can see,
Look at those lilies.
I know, and you know what? We've actually never touched these things. So there used to be a tree here. I guess it's been cut down now, so this is all kind of new. But this we kind of use as a little bit of a biological filter for the pond. So we rebuilt that waterfall on the top, kind of overflows through here.
Yeah. Look at the frog sitting in the lily. So many times when I go to somebody's house, they have floating stick food. Every single float, there's one main manufacturer, we're not going to mention any names, but every floating fish food that's the stick form is basically like Cheetos. This is actually probiotic aquascape fish food that works with an aquascape ecosystem pond. And so thank you for using that. So where do you feed them at?
We have all, like, tons of those.
Yeah.
So much.
Big frog here. underneath the fountain. There's a frog fountain, and then there's a frog on it.
Greg, the pond guy, and his counterparts.
Pond guy,
He was
Greg.
just
I wanted the name, Greg.
Craig and Greg here, yeah.
How you doing, Derek?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Ernest. Ernest?
Hello again.
Tim!
But you could just call me the pond guy, then you'll never forget it. And
Yeah.
and here's
Greg-
your pond guy. You got to be
Greg
happy.
and Craig are pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you just call me the pond guy. But you got to be pretty happy with this pond guy. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
environment that you guys have created.
It is.
Yeah.
So I said, you're the best weed puller out here.
All right, here we are at our second stop of the day. This is another awesome renovation project we did. This one was about 7 or 8 years ago now, so we're really happy and amazed every time we come here at how developed and this whole environment has become. Just take a look at these beautiful waterfalls here, and like all this moss work and all this beautiful wood elements here really have naturalized this whole setting. It just looks amazing. Take a look at these water lilies here. Just look at these things. Absolutely massive. And so this here was the existing pond of the property, so this was already here. What we've came in and done is redid all these waterfalls behind you and sort of extended the stream that way, and that whole pond over there is all brand new as well.
I like the stained glass.
Oh, it's beautiful, I know.
He was born in the pond.
yeah, he was. Toads. Toads are born in the pond, but then they don't.
Come through here. Probably my favorite part of the whole pond is this area right here. It just says a lot about the whole lifestyle and what we're trying to do here. This right here is what it's all about, these patio and chairs here. A couple glasses of wine, or in this case water. It's a little early, but and then they have this to look at, this beautiful pond. So we've built from scratch the waterfall at the top. Remember, all that was here was that one pond there. So we have built a waterfall, connected this whole water feature. And so yeah, building this was pretty nice and easy, I gotta say. Living out on this property, the good thing about these types of properties is, you know, access wasn't an issue. A lot of these gardens weren't here when we were building this pond, so we were able to get machines. Yeah, and then the homeowners have really gone above and beyond here with all this landscaping, a couple more sets of chairs here. One of the cool things about this is we have a custom intake bay here, which seems to be working really well. So originally we almost underestimated how much debris would be getting into this pond. So we originally had a traditional pond skimmer here. We ended up having to take that out and replacing it with a jet system. So there's jets in here, and what this is called, this is an intake bay style filter. So it gives more area for water or for debris to accumulate and makes it easier for the homeowners to access. Basically just allows for more debris to be captured and taken out of the pond to help with the water quality. But it works really well, as you can see. About a 15-foot cascading stream and falls here. Again, none of this was here. This was all just gardeny grass, so we put all this waterfall in here. There used to be a really nice bamboo trees here. They unfortunately had to come down, so this garden is all nice and new, and it's still developing really well. So that's the existing pond. That's the pond that was already on the site. So you can kind of tell with the different style of stone around the edges there, it's a little bit different than our rockery here. We kind of use it as a biological filter for the pond in a sense. So water travels through this, and some of these wonderful lilies here, they consume all the nutrients that would otherwise feed, you know, algae and stuff like that for the pond. So this pond, this upper pond with all the aquatic life in there really helps from a filtration perspective. So we left that in there and worked with it, and then this stream is all brand new as well. So this is one of my favorite parts about this whole pond, actually, especially considering, you know, how young as a company we were when we built this water feature. You know, our artistry since then has come a long way, but even at the time, one of the things I love about this waterfall is the attention to detail that we had even at that time. So we have some really nice wooding elements here. This moss that we placed here is really taken over. So we have 2 biofalls in this water feature, 2 biofalls 2500s. That's because of the heavy volume of water. We have one really big pond, two ponds basically on this water feature. So we needed pretty heavy filtration. So we're filtering up to 5,000 gallons per hour on this pond. If you want to see more about how we build this pond, we got another video. You can click on this link above and it'll take you to another video showing exactly how we build this awesome water feature.
Hello.
I'm Julie.
Hi, Julie. The pond guy,
You're
Greg.
the pond guy. You're the pond guy.
I like your accent. Where are you from?
I am from the northwest of England, from up between Liverpool and Manchester. But I've been here 19 years. So.
Yeah, the pond guy, Greg. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
So
you.
who's been here longer? You said 19 years here.
No, in Canada,
Oh,
not
okay.
here. No, Lisa's been here longer than me.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa's one of the oldest.
Just gonna say, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I've heard about this place, so I'm excited to visit and see it in person.
Thank you.
Yeah, how long have you been here?
I've been here about 12, 13 years now, but John's had it for over 30.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
It's been here a long time and slowly evolved.
And then how long ago did these young men put a water feature in for you?
When Burns closed, just after they closed, so yeah, 8 years would have been the first one, like I said, and then we came in about 4 years ago and renovated this one and did.
It's right in the
It's
front.
right there in the front. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Wow, that is spectacular. Okay, so the thing I love about the Lotus, and I always show it, you can see it right here, right now. Look at how the water just beads off of. Look at that. Isn't that cool how the water just beads off of the leaves? And then multiple blooms, more blooms coming. So the thing about the Lotus is it's a perennial, it'll come back. They need a lot of fertilizer, especially when they get blooms that big. But this is just a nice little, small, typical backyard pond, right?
All right, here we are, Baltimore Valley Garden Center. This is a display pond that we have here right out front. So if you're driving by, feel free to stop by and check out this water feature anytime. It's about an 8x13 ecosystem pond. We have a really cool intake bay and biological wet fin filter for this pond, which is why this water is so pristine. Just check out this water lotus here, that bloom. That is just absolutely incredible. Opened up just in time for this tour. I think opened up 2 days ago. So.
Instead of a traditional skimmer, we have an intake bay. So the actual purpose of the intake bay is to catch all of the falling debris or organic matter that falls in your pond, and it pulls it all to your corner, so you just have to easily scoop it up with your net. The intake bay is actually this whole area. It's about 3 by 3 in general. So in this area here is a wetland filter. The pump sits in the intake bay, and it gets pumped up here through a series of gravel and aggregate, plus plant material, and helps filter this whole natural pond.
Just check out how pristine this water quality is. That is partly to do with this miniature wetland filter that we have at the top. So this is actually an advanced wetland filtration system. We've taken all the same concepts from a larger recreational filter and downsized it to fit even these small, tiny little water features. So as Tim mentioned, water percolates up through that gravel, through various grades of gravel, finally through the plant material there, and back into the pond. And those filters just do an amazing job of keeping this pond so crystal clear.
So this never fails. So John, you bought this property from the woman that used to own it, and your goal is to eventually put a waterfall going up that slope, right?
Down the slope.
Yeah, well, okay. Down the slope. It's easier to make water flow downhill than up. Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page with that one. So you use this to irrigate, and so this would be more like a little quiet getaway for the staff and customers, right?
And customers.
And that's
Like the Niagara Falls of Baltimore.
junior high sweethearts. pretty impressive. You get to see perfectly built water features at garden centers, because usually it's a neglected area. So the fact that you guys have this and shows your TLC, and actually the whole place in general. So it's fun for me to encourage people to live the aquascape lifestyle. So thanks for helping in that regard.
Well, thank you. And Tim and Joey from Clearwater Creations are certainly responsible for this pond, and we owe a great deal to them for always being here to help us when we're in need and for a beautiful build.
Hey, high five on that.
I'll high
one,
five
baby.
to that, absolutely. Yeah.
Well done,
Where's
boys.
Tim? There he is. There he is. There just wasn't enough outlets over there, and they said they turned the ion gen on, and within 24 hours, completely gone. Hello, hello. How's it going? Good, good.
Look at look at that. She's very outgoing.
She is.
Laura,
Oh
what's her
yeah,
name?
they
Laura
both
Lai.
are.
Laura
They
Lai.
both
Yep,
are.
I'm Melissa.
Melissa the pond guy. Good.
Yeah,
Nice to meet
nice
you.
to
So
meet you.
this is your parents' house?
My in-laws.
Okay, your
So
in-laws.
my husband grew up here. They've actually built this place. This was just fields when
Yeah.
they bought it. They planted the woods. They've done everything here.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard from Joey that they're out of town, but that they just love the ponds.
Yeah, it's interesting because my father-in-law was so unsure.
Yeah, because he had an existing pond.
Yep, he had an existing pond. He was like, I don't know, like really? And my mother-in-law was like, I want the kids to go in and play. And she's so all about the little ones. And now it actually has him out here for hours on end. in the
Amen.
gazebo. Yeah, and he
Amen.
just,
So he's happy
yeah,
with the
he's-
investment.
he is beyond happy with it. Yes.
Oh, that's what I love to hear.
Yeah. All right, so what you're looking at here was not here about a month ago. What used to be here was a round, sort of kidney-shaped pool area. It had stacked flagstone all around the edges. It was bare liner, so you could see all that black liner showing. All these plants were all in big, bulky pots that were sort of a bit of an eyesore. So as you can see, totally transformed. We added all kinds of different elements of interest here, like these wood elements. We got this really nice log here along the edge just to break up the monotony of all the stone. We have a nice little staircase in here so the kids can get in and out nice and easily, which they've already been doing. So we have been doing more and more of these intake bay style filters lately, as opposed to the traditional pond skimmer. Sort of depends on the environment a little bit, but environments like this where we have a lot of deciduous trees and a lot of debris in the fall and stuff like that, we want to have access to a lot of that debris. So this allows for basically an area for sediment to collect where it can be easily removed. And yeah, this pond really should function pretty much on autopilot. We have an ion gen system in here that helps control the string algae, which is already really working well. Some more wood elements in here, again, just to help naturalize the feature and break up the monotony of all the stone. And lastly, we're looking here at what I would say is an absolutely beautiful waterfall. It doesn't have a ton of height, but that's the way we wanted it. So we wanted to keep it nice and low so that it was in keeping with the rest of the property here. This is also the main filter for the pond here. So as water moves up through these various grades of aggregate, stone and aggregate, all those excess nutrients are removed from the water, and that's why you have such nice crystal clear water here. So these biological filtration systems really work really well for these types of ponds, especially if you're in an area like this where there's all kinds of debris that's going to get in there. Yeah, I just love the way this waterfall turned out. It's got so much element of interest here. Once we get some moss in here, that'll help kind of grow and cover these cracks. I just love the way it breaks up in here and kind of squeezes through this little gap. And the way we use the stone, the natural break in the stone here to create a waterfall just looks so nice and natural. So I really love the way that turned out. Yes.
Did you recycle these from a barn?
Tim and
Hello.
my wife Shannon and my dog.
Oh my goodness.
How are you?
Hi. Hi, Shannon. I'll give you a hug. Thanks for supporting your husband.
Oh my God, look at his stuff.
Yes.
Most talented guy I know.
Well, hey, you know what? When your wife says that, that's impressive. Well, I can see why. So this is a couple years old, 4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, who are these guys? That looks like a real little puppy.
Yes,
Yes,
this is
this is
Daisy.
Hi, Daisy.
I know they play
always
tug of
do.
war.
Oh my gosh, look at that. The dog wants to walk the other dog.
Okay, here we are, last stop of the tour. This is my own personal pond, my baby. There isn't a detail or a stone in this pond that wasn't strategically placed by me specifically. So what I tried to achieve here is basically a miniature recreation pond. So I'm on a bit of a smaller property here, but I wanted to still try to give everyone that comes here a little bit of a taste of all the possibilities that can be done with these types of water features, even on a small one like this. So you can see here, I've got a nice walk-in beach here. This is great for my kids and my dogs. I got 2 small dogs that pretty much live in the shallow end here of the pond. We got an intake-based style filter here again, so as you can see, we are really trying to capture as much debris as we can with our systems. So we got our pump sits in there underneath that nice fake rock. Debris collects in this area here where I can easily remove it with my nets or my hands or whatever. You know, this time of year I pretty much don't have to do a lot. The system pretty much runs on autopilot. Mostly the fall where I get all kinds of leaf debris. This skimmer works really well. Mostly it all collects in here. So I'll take you around this way again. Because I'm trying to go for a miniature recreation pond on this, I really wanted pristine, really clear water quality. I wanted the kids to be able to get in here, snorkel with the fish. I didn't want anybody worried about slimy algae or this type of thing. So we went way overkill, or not, I wouldn't say overkill, but we went with this really advanced, or this big, massive wetland filter, which is a bit overkill for this size of pond. We could have gone with the traditional biofalls, but we really, again, wanted nice, pristine water quality. There's nothing like these wetland filters. So up here at the top is the filter from the main filter for the pond. And yeah, it just overflows into my nice spillway. I got a really nice pooling area here. This is one of my favorite rocks I've ever set in my whole pond career. They got this really cool hole here. Water actually spills through a crevasse into this rock and sneaks out here. So I really like this rock. It's one of my favorite rocks I've probably ever placed in a water feature. And we have this whole thing lit up like a Christmas tree at nighttime. So I got probably 6 or 7 lights in here, plus lighting all up above here. We have some accent lighting on the trees, so at nighttime this whole scene is really set and lit up, and it's really a place that we spend a whole lot of time.
So if you're ever going to hire a certified aquascape contractor, A, look at the portfolio of their work, and B, visit their personal house. You can always tell if somebody's living the aquascape lifestyle themselves and how they're living the aquascape lifestyle, if they're going to be a good contractor for you. So I love this. I love the fact that he's got a front yard water feature, which is a bit unusual. But you know, the way this house is laid out, this is perfect. This is the living area, the seating area up here. And for me to visit and see how certified aquascape contractors are living the aquascape lifestyle themselves, I get a really good perspective of their abilities. Beautiful pond, looks like it's always been here. And that's of course what you want. Hey, good job, Joey.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I love my job.
That's a wrap for our first ever pond tour with Greg Wittstock, the pond guy. Greg, thanks so much for coming out. We really enjoyed having you here. Hopefully we can get you again next time. We'll show you even more awesome water features. Until then, take care.